Hey guys, so welcome to a little podcast thing I want to do on Ascension, just because it's a really fun game, and to be honest, I'm pretty bored on it right now. I'm level 60, I'm raiding, there's not much left to really do, but today is the first day of Blizzcon, and I kind of wanted to do a little review of what's been announced so far. So this is a podcast talking about BlizzCon. I'm not there, unfortunately, even though it is my dream to go to one BlizzCon at some point in my life. Obviously, with more support from you guys, I can maybe afford it, but it is really expensive as I'm from the UK. Maybe when, or if I live in America, I might be able to go. But it depends, it's very dependent on money, really. Right, let's begin. So, the first thing they announced that I've seen is World of Warcraft Classic servers. So yes, this is official Blizzard Legacy servers. So this may start the end of Ascension and Warmain and all these other Legacy servers, but to be honest, I don't think Blizzard will really care, because Warmain's been around for years and stayed active. And the same thing, Ascension's been around for probably few months now, I think. I mean, I joined in May when I was getting really bored with raiding, and then Kill Jaden came out, and then it could honestly begin the end of private servers, so other people's servers that aren't Blizzard. But to be honest, I kind of doubt we'll see it. We'll see Blizzard Legacy servers this year or 2018. Yeah, girl talking about it. I think we'll probably see them beginning of 2019. So, not this BlizzCon that's just started. I think by the next one, just after the expansions come out, they'll tell us more about what they're planning and where they're going to go with it, because it could realistically be just a classic server, and only ever stay classic, with everything fully released on, like, you could just release it as of like just before the patch. What was the patch before 2.0? I can't remember. I think it was 1.4 or something. But just before 2.0, the pre-patch for BC came out, they could just release it as that, or they could do a progressive system where they progress through classic and that's it, or they could do a fully progression system, kind of like Ascension's doing it to Wrath, but go vanilla, BC, Wrath, Kata, Pandaria, Draenor, Legion, Battle for Azeroth. I'll talk about that one later. And we could do it that way, and then the younger players who are kind of playing it now that don't really understand what the game is about and the game's history, like my girlfriend who's just started, can physically go back legally and start playing it through Blizzard and learn all the lore and learn the stories and learn the issues. I mean, one thing that I love if they do, this is one thing I'm not a big fan of Ascension for doing, is the Corrupted Blood incident. Like, that's classic, good old-fashioned Blizzard mistakes, and that's hilarious. And I'd love it if Ascension had kept that in. But from what I've heard, they haven't. And in fact, the issue is they've had problems releasing it. But if Blizzard do make a legacy server, I just hope, if it's purely classic at release, well, that kind of sucks. Like, as at the end of classic at least, but if it's from release 1.00 all the way up to whether it's 3.3.5 like Ascension is, or whether it goes on further, I think what I love, especially Ascension, to do is, as they progress through each expansion, they essentially copy all the data from one server to create a new server, and then they've got a pure vanilla at the end, a pure BC at the end, Wrath, and obviously as they progress through, there's previous servers, obviously sort of stops at MOP or something, or WOD, depending on, or it's like a community vote thing, so they can vote on which servers they kind of want to keep and save. It's like, we want to keep vanilla, we want to keep BC, we want to keep Wrath, but we don't want to keep Kata or MOP or WOD or whatever. So you kind of give a bit more community customization, really. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it could It could be a great system, it could work really well, it could bring in new players, or it could be a complete swan dive and everyone could be like, oh shit, this didn't work, did it? Let's stop this now, kind of thing. And it could make Blizzard popular again, like 12 million plus subs again. Because a lot of people in my guild who don't play live are tempted to come back already, and all we know is Chromie has said we're coming back. Like, that's all we know, and that's literally no info to go on. They have it in the books, they have it in the plan, but there's no release date, no certain expansion stop or info about when it's going to start or whatever. It's a bit yeah, look, I will renew mine as soon as they launch. like a lot of people will come back, and that's the reason why they're doing it, and that's very, very clever for them. That's very clever, and I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact they actually care. But obviously Legion's lost more subs than they really would have liked, and same thing with WoD. And the only thing is that I'm worried about is how they'd actually get to sell it. So would they do buy to play? So you say pay 20 quid or 30 quid for the expansion and then that's it? Or would you do the add £5 to subscription as an option? Or would you just give it away for free? Or like what? How would Blizzard sell it to people? That's a big thing, because I'm willing to pay £5 extra each month to play a legacy server, but to play a legacy server that I'd want, it has to be like Ascension. So it has to progress through the expansions. It can't just be at the end of vanilla, boom, there you go. Because that's less than a year's worth of content, really. If you think about it, it's less than a year's worth of content, because already we're at ZG, and we're already going a bit slow. Really. But the other thing they announced is new expansion. Oh my god. So a lot of people that I'm talking to are not a fan. I'm not too sure why they aren't a fan. I'm just gonna go grinding. I'm not too sure why they aren't a fan, because I am, from what I've seen. It looks really cool. But obviously people have different opinions on what expansion should be, and after Legion and WoD and MOP and kind of Cataclysm really, and Wrath and BC, pretty much every single expansion has been both factions working together to have an end goal of defeating the boss that expansion, whereas vanilla were all individual factions, and it's not really been like that massively since vanilla. I mean, there was a little bit in BC because a lot of the raids were separate, but a lot of the zones, everyone leveled through the same zones, whereas in vanilla you could realistically get away with not bumping into anyone during your leveling. I mean, obviously depending on your pop on your server and when you started, because if you started at the beginning, then obviously you'd meet like one person in your whole experience, or near the end you'd probably meet 100, 2,000 people or something. It's ridiculous. But then you've got that poppy issue. But Battle for Azeroth is essentially a South Seas expansion, but in the north of the sea. So if you know, from what I saw on the map, so if you look, so that's sort of been moved up and a bit squashed on the new map. Pandaria is here, Vajir is here, and also see a big bubble there. But there's Broken Isles here. I think Kulturos is up here. It gives that sort of aspect. I'll try and maybe download the thing, but then maybe it will copyright me, so I'm not too sure. I might just leave a link down below for you guys to go watch it yourself. But from what I guess, the sort of Kulturos Islands are up here, where I think they should realistically be up here, to be honest. because it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, we haven't got a lot of info about where it is, but from what I've seen, it's somewhere in between islands. It could realistically be here, right? But I think it's around here, which kind of sucks, because we've already got an island here. We don't want another one up here. We want something over here, something to bring us around the other side of the planet, because this is technically, from World War, only half the side of the planet. So what's on the other side? If you look, there's a Forbidden Sea here on Eastern Kingdom, so on the right side of the map. But then on this side, there's a Veiled Sea. But if you look, this side says Great Sea, and this side says Great Sea, and there's no land. So this must mean there is an island on the other side, big as this, or at least as big as Northrend, because you don't see any of the sea names around, floating around. I'm not sure about Pandaria, I can't click on it. But there is obviously something on the other side, so I think it'd be really cool to have Kulturas on the other side of Azeroth. So we go from Broken Isles, we try and sail home, we get picked up in a storm, we get taken off, drifted off, we land on Kulturas or something. But all we know so far is, after Legion, after we've defeated Antonidas and we've gone to do the pre-patch in Zilithus that has the big wound thing here. I'm not too sure how that's going to feed in. We'll find out over the next few days, but obviously when I'm filming this, I do not know. But hopefully we'll find out, and so far all we know is it's very Horde versus Alliance, and Sylvanas has had some weird curse or something put on her. I'm not too sure whether that's a new thing or an old thing, and I've just not picked up on it. I'm not a big undead player, even though I do have an undead warlock. But what we do pick up is that Anduin has fully taken over the role as king. Now, I'm not an Alliance player. I am in, like, vanilla to Wrath content. I am an Alliance player die-hardly. I will always be an Alliance player during that sort of content, because it's really fun. You get tons of fun racials and humans, especially during sort of legacy servers, and this guy will follow over as a warrior on the legacy servers once they come out, if they come out. But all we know is Anduin's taken over as the role as king. He's got his dad's weapon, and he has super duper healing powers. And I cried at that bit, because I really felt for Anduin's story. I don't know why, but I think the story in Legion, especially for Alliance stuff, was really good. Like, the story in Legion definitely was the strong suit, whereas the raiding's been very similar pretty much since sort of Wrath Kata sort of content. It's been very similar. It's been very sort of, so have this mechanic and you'll survive the boss. Yay! Whereas in vanilla it was kind of the same thing, but these sort of mechanics were, every single one was punishing as hell. Like, if you made a mistake, boom, you're dead. One mistake, boom, you're dead. One mistake, boom, you're dead. Whereas recently it's more of a, oh, you need to hit this much damage and then just avoid this one single mechanic. It's kind of boring. But the story of Legion is excellent. I feel like it's going to follow on really strongly into Battle for Azeroth. The only thing that I can really say is we don't know much else. So we don't know what else is coming. So we don't know so far. I mean, we'll find out on Saturday, and I may make another video. But right now we have no idea at all what's happening in Battle for Azeroth. We don't know what the baddies are, we don't know what the dungeons and raids are going to be like, we don't know what the eye level's going to be like. We know that in Antonidas the legendaries go to 1000, so I'm guessing the first raid, sort of raid finder stuff, is going to be just over 1000, as obviously the raiding gear is sort of 970, so I'm guessing sort of first raid is going to be 1050 maximum for sort of end boss LFR, maybe, unless they do a 1.05k eye level, which would be kind of cool, sort of make it shorter, because 1000 is ridiculous. Like, my level here is like 49, 66, and now they're on 1000. Well, that's just ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully they can make it more the raids better and difficult rather than just pussy whack, really. Like, you could literally just sit there and just, as a BM hunter, just send your pets in and that's doing enough damage. That's literally what a BM hunter is, and that's not fun. Like, a lot of the specs now are just like 2-3 key rotations. We are getting rid of our artifacts, so that's always a bonus. And I think we should remove the legendary should be gone as well. Should be reset, or at least be sold as when the next expansion comes out. So then our eye levels back even further to kind of mitigate that ridiculously high eye level. But yeah, so hopefully they'll work on the story in the dungeons mainly and raids. But one positive from Legion is PvP is now a legit way to get proper gear, to properly prepare for raids and dungeons. You can just do PvP, and that's something I enjoy because PvP is quite fun. I mean, not on Ascension, it's freaking underbalanced, it's overbalanced, no one can do shit unless your stack's down, or even then you're fucked. But the fact is, on Legion, PvP is the best it's been pretty much throughout the history. In the last 13-14 years, this is the best it's ever been, really. And I think that's excellent, the fact they've actually changed PvP to be something excellent. So, I'm happy about that. So, that's my little review. So, Legacy server's looking good. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, how they're going to sell it. It'd be interesting to find out, and how they're going to, whether it's going to be an instant release of every single content, or whether it's going to be like a progressive system, and are they going to have multiple servers with different content in, like vanilla, BC, Wrath, Clatter, and that sort of stuff. And then Battle for Azeroth, looking good. They need to work on their raids and dungeons, really. It needs time. Everything else is pretty fun, it's there to a degree, it just needs a little bit more work. But obviously I can't make a judgment right now, as we barely know anything about it as of now, as of 3rd of November, Friday 2017. But thanks for coming by and watching and listening to me chat about the new content in BlizzCon. I won't find out anything else, so this will be it. If you guys want to have a chat down below, that's excellent. And now I'm in Netherguard Keep. I will see you later. I'm coming on my Savage Raptor. So thanks for coming by. Remember to like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you another time. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you like it as much as I did, because I cried at Anduin. Really did. I got really invested in his story. Anyway, see you guys. Goodbye.